The 1980s are often called the golden age of anime. It was the era of hand-drawn explosions, insane creativity, and stories that pushed boundaries long before anime became mainstream. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Not every classic survived the test of time. Some of these anime were revolutionary in the 80s, but watching them today can feel almost impossible. Whether it's painfully slow pacing, outdated humor, repetitive storytelling, or visuals that aged badly, these series can be genuinely difficult for modern viewers to sit through. And before the comments explode, this isn't about disrespecting anime history. A series can be influential and still be hard to watch in 2026. So here are 5 classic 80s anime that many modern fans struggle to get through. Number 5, Saint Seiya. Back in the 80s, Saint Seiya was massive. The armor designs were iconic, the fights were dramatic, and the series inspired countless battle shonen that came after it. Even today, you can still see its DNA in modern anime. But actually sitting down and watching the original series now, that's where the problems start. The pacing is brutally slow. Characters spend entire episodes explaining attacks instead of using them. Fights drag on forever, and the amount of repeated animation becomes impossible to ignore after a while. What once felt epic now feels exhausting for viewers used to modern pacing. And then there's the filler. So much filler. For longtime fans, the nostalgia carries the experience. But for newcomers, Saint Seiya can feel more like homework than entertainment. Number 4, Fist of the North Star. If you've ever seen the phrase, "you are already dead," this is where it came from. Fist of the North Star basically defined ultra-masculine anime action. It influenced series like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and even parts of Dragon Ball Z. In the 80s, its violence and post-apocalyptic world were mind-blowing. But today, the formula gets repetitive fast. Every episode follows almost the exact same structure. A villain appears, innocent people suffer, Kenshiro walks in, somebody explodes, repeat. Over and over. The animation also aged rough in places, especially during long stretches of reused frames and stiff movement. What once felt intense can now feel unintentionally funny. Still legendary, but definitely not easy to binge in 2026. Number 3, Kinnikuman helped shape tournament anime long before they became mainstream. Without it, later battle series might look very different. But modern audiences usually bounce off this show almost immediately. The humor aged terribly in some areas, the storytelling is chaotic, and the tonal shifts are all over the place. One second it's trying to be emotional, the next it's full of bizarre comedy that feels completely disconnected from the plot. And visually, it screams old anime in the most extreme way possible. Some fans still love the weird charm of it, but for newer anime watchers, Kinnikuman can feel like sensory overload mixed with confusion. Number 2, Angel Cop. Now this one is complicated. Angel Cop was peak 80s cyberpunk excess. Explosions, psychic powers, government conspiracies, graphic violence. It had everything that defined edgy anime OVAs. But revisiting it today is rough. The story becomes increasingly incoherent as it goes on. The dialogue is unintentionally hilarious at times, and some of its political themes aged incredibly poorly. It's the kind of anime people remember as cool until they actually re-watch it. Visually, parts of it still look incredible thanks to that hand-drawn OVA style. But as a complete experience, it's a mess. And number 1, Space Adventure Cobra. This might be the most controversial entry. Cobra was stylish, confident, and full of that unmistakable 80s sci-fi energy. The main character basically felt like anime's version of a space action movie hero. But for modern viewers, the series often feels painfully dated. The episodic storytelling rarely builds momentum. Many side characters feel flat, and the pacing can become incredibly repetitive after several episodes. Ironically, Cobra's biggest strength is also its biggest weakness. It's pure 80s anime. If you love retro aesthetics, synth-heavy vibes, and classic cell animation, you might adore it. But if you're used to tightly written modern anime, this series can feel almost impossible to finish. And honestly, that's the strange thing about old anime. Some classics age like wine. Others age like expired milk. But even the unwatchable ones still matter because they helped build the anime industry we know today. Without these series experimenting, succeeding, and sometimes failing spectacularly, modern anime wouldn't exist in its current form. So maybe the real question isn't whether these anime are bad. It's whether modern audiences still have the patience to watch them.